We will take the minutes, and we also have to do a rating of Director Dr. DeFries, which Tammy will memorialize what we say and get that in. It's required today. Okay, public comment. Go ahead. We know who you are, but identify yourself. No one's watching anyway, so.
Coalition, I appreciate you allowing me to be here today. My name is Dylan Reingold, County Attorney, Indian River County. I was here on Monday, as all three of you know, because you were here on Friday. As you know, there was a little bit of a discussion at the Indian River Lagoon Council Board of Directors meeting on Friday about the county stepping into the shoes of the Indian River County Lagoon Coalition. And simply just wanted to be here for some questions. We're excited about moving through the process as outlined within the interlocal agreement, and simply want to address any concerns, comments, or questions from this board as to how that process would work. And I look forward to working with Carol and Ansay on bringing those documents back to our board for approval.
We'll get into that in a minute, so if you want to get up again, and that'll be fine.
I don't have an agenda for today. I apologize, so I didn't know where you wanted me to be on the agenda.
You're here as we talk about it. Feel free. Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. The first item of business under 5A is a welcome from the city of Sebastian, the largest city in Indian River County.
Oh my gosh, somebody actually said that.
Vice Mayor Andrea Coya to the coalition formally, and when we had the meeting, I believe it was on Friday, we weren't really able to answer some of the questions because we had not had a meeting, and we hadn't welcomed Andrea, but now we have the three of us here today, so welcome.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to say? Or?
No, we have lots to talk about, so let's get on with the official stuff.
Okay, item B is discuss the Indian River County joining the joint Indian River Coalition, and either I don't really have any particular comment about it, but Joel or you or Andrea, if you do, hold forth.
I think I shared some of my concerns on Friday at the original meeting. I am speaking here as my council's representative, but of course my council has to approve of anything that we decide on today as far as what goes. I cannot give permission, yay, nay, or I can give you my opinion and then take it back to council, whatever consensus we reach today. My biggest concerns, I will echo, I forget his name, but a gentleman did bring it up, is that when you have a just barely over the line vote, 3-2 is indeed that's a good sign, and I'm thrilled. I'm really happy that at least 3 members of the county commission are very excited to be part of this, because the 3 of us as municipalities realized how important this was from day one. That's why we jumped in. So I'm very, very happy that the county has recognized the import and wants to participate. But with that close of a vote, it takes but one change of mind to wipe it out again. And then we come back to the same place we were. And that was brought up by a member of the public at Friday's meeting. Now, one change of mind, 2 years from now, someone changing positions or coming and going. Is it overreacting? I think it's a concern, because I mentioned this on Friday also. At our last city council meeting, we were talking septic sewer issues, and Jason Burke had on his list $300,000 that the county wanted as participation from the city of Sebastian for them to put in the sewer line, not for hookup, but to put in their line for their utility. That included a $100,000 grant that we got from the Lagoon Council. Well, I had to tell Jason, you can't have that, because that's first, you have to go in and change that grant amount. But I thought it was a little bit odd and a little suspect and a little bit dark, actually, that here we had to come up with the money to join the Lagoon Council as municipalities. We were anxious to do that. And in doing so, Sebastian put in for a grant, was awarded a grant, and then the county wants to take that money right back. Boom. And not even recognize that, plus another 100,000 that went for matching funds. So the county had already kind of counted that as Sebastian's share of their sewer line. And that's a big concern to me. And those kind of things have happened up this way on more than one occasion. The county tried to get us to pay for engineering, $68,000 to engineering fees for sewer. This is a county utility, and the county is responsible for running the utility. The county makes all profit off the utility. It's an independent fund. And no one can tell me where anyone else has had to pay, like the people who live in Ursuline. How much are they paying? How much are the people on Roseland Road paying for their fair share? The answer to that is zero. So bottom line is Sebastian winds up paying twice. And that's a concern. And it's attached. So my idea, and I would like to throw this back at you two gentlemen to see how you feel. I think that since we have been on board this whole time, this is a suggestion, and again, my council would have to say yay or nay, just as yours would too. I think we ought to consider inviting the county to join us and perhaps giving them a 2-share. So they have two shares and we have 1, 2, 3, dividing it up by 5. That would be $10,000 apiece. County pays $20,000. We all sit down at the table and we decide how to proceed as a group. If that way, no matter what happens at the county level, whoever changes votes or the election process changes the composition, we are still at the table because 1, 2, 3, and 2 at the county. That's my suggestion for how we deal with this and my concerns. So with that, I will pass it along.
A comment?
Well, my only comment is what I said before. I would welcome the county taking over this responsibility. And the reason that I thought about it, I've been upset ever since we started this, is that first year that they were allocating money, they left $64,000 on the table that Sebastian or Vero Beach or I think Felsmer's taking care of their stormwater runoff and stuff like that. We're doing that with the reservoirs that are being built out there. But that $64,000 could have been used, and there was nobody there to take it. So, with the change in the opinion of the county, I think we're good for 2 years. With Tim Zork leading the way and Peter O'Brien changing his mind, and we know how Susan Adams stands with it. So we know we're going to have 3 positive votes for the next 2 years, and I am all for the county taking over the responsibility, because there again, it's one less meeting I have to go to.
Thank you, Mayor.
Let me make this comment. First of all, I really think my city council will go along with whatever we come up here today, but we will get it ratified. Besides the one that Andrea suggests, there are 2 other solutions. Well, there are really, I guess, 4. We can, at the time that all the paperwork and everything is done, we could step down. We'd have to have a meeting to do so. We could do what she suggests, and we could keep going and have membership by the county. We could change our paperwork such that, and I think we could do that with the permission of our consuls, and Wayne can explain it, such that if the county steps aside, our paperwork allows for us to replace the county. And then the third one we could ask for, and we might get it, really, as a matter of fact. This comes from a citizen in Vero Beach. We could accede to the county's request and ask for a non-voting membership on the overall committee. So those are other solutions to it. I'm more comfortable with Joel's position than I am making it more complicated than we need to. I have faith in Susan and Tim, and we'll see where it goes. But I make those suggestions. It may be that the one where we change our paperwork and we submit it, that in effect we're standing behind solves your issue. I don't know.
That makes me feel a little bit better. It does. I just know, and I've publicly stated this before, so I'm not telling tales, and county representation is here. I'm not telling any secrets, but Sebastian's been left out a lot. In the North County area, we get forgotten. And we've had to step up and actually literally fight for a lot of the things to get our fair share. And that's not a secret. I mean, I've been doing this for 12 years now, so I can name a lot of examples. And this is a real important one to all of us. And especially to Sebastian. It's near and dear to our heart. And so maybe I'm being a little overprotective, but I really would love to have a vote. I serve on the MPO. You've sat on the MPO.
No, I have not.
Oh, well, there's another joy. It's an example where all 5 county commissioners sit on that board, and we have a lot of voting members, but then the ultimate say is by the county commission. So here you have an MPO board, and then it goes to the county for approval. And it can get changed in between. We're the advisory board. So, you know, watching that kind of stuff, I don't know that my council's going to go for that, my idea, quite frankly. And oh, by the way, I'm not here Wednesday night. I will be on my veranda in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean somewhere. So we'll not be bringing this to the next council meeting unless, what's our time frame on this? When do?
Oh, I don't think I think we have time to bring it back to our respective city councils, and I can call a meeting at any time. I think just actually with Tammy, 24 hours, really, but we wouldn't have to do anything for a couple of weeks. There's no 3 weeks.
Did they cancel the next meeting for the council?
Yes, and the next meeting is, I'm unclear whether it's February 5th or 12th, because I've seen it both ways.
Okay, so we have virtually the month of January. The county has things they have to do on their checklist too to proceed. There's a whole list of things for them.
Well, where the thing is going is Carolyn is preparing the paperwork at the direction of the council, which I acceded to. That doesn't mean, basically the entire 8-person board has to vote to accept it. Any one member can decline. But I agreed that the paperwork needed to be done with the assumption that some form of this would happen. And I will echo your concerns. You remember the fire plug issue that we had. And,
oh, yes.
The county has sued the city, and so we've had issues. And
Ellesmere won that argument before
yeah,
you did. No,
you won for us, and we got $180,000
okay.
back. I think that's the number.
Okay.
So I have sympathy with that, because the reality is we're quite jealous of our home rule, and there have been problems with that vis-a-vis the county from our perspective, maybe from the counties also. Let's do this. Wayne, this changing our paperwork, how would that work? Would you like to comment on that?
Sure. I'd be happy to make some amendments to the existing interlocal agreement that, because ultimately the purpose of this coalition is for the protection and improvement of the Indian River Lagoon. Could make that the primary feature as opposed to just being mainly a member of the council. But keep it in existence. In other words, you may or may not want to still meet as often as you do now, and maybe provide that, and maybe this is something that you might bring up, Mr. Winger, with the actual council, if they want in that ultimate agreement to also have in there, should Indian River County withdraw, then this board could step back into those shoes.
And that's in the interlocal agreement, yes?
Well, I'm thinking maybe it could be in both, even with the council's interlocal agreement. I mean, they may not want to do that because at that point, this body may not be a member anymore and not
Yeah,
be a
then it gets
signatory.
sticky. Yeah.
But you could do that for the interlocal between the entities that are represented here, that you would, should the county withdraw, that you would have the authority to go ahead and seek readmission to be on the council.
To me, we don't know what they'll do, but I mean, I could, you know, subject to your city councils and subject to your vote, I could present it such that, you know, the options are, we'd like a 9-voting seat, or this option, which I kind of like better because it's less cumbersome from their point of view, that we continue in existence and we are there as a standby in such case if the county.
I like the more,
And
the
I
more
think-
you say that, I like it.
I think there's a possibility that they'll accept that. I mean, they accepted us wanting the county first, but we stood forward. Actually, Richard Gilmore was the leader, and Sebastian was the leader in it. And I think there's a good chance they would accept it if we changed it. And we can present that to our city councils. And that would give the vote to the county as long as the county is here. If the county's no longer here, we would come back. I don't know if that'd be acceptable to your people, and you'd have to ask them also.
I think that's an agreement between the 3 cities who are here, represented here today. I don't see the county being a part of that agreement, so I don't see how the county.
Well, if we all agree too, I mean, there's that little piece too, if this is amenable to all and is an acceptable solution, we would hope that the county would go along because
Andrea wasn't here whenever we formed this thing, there was, when it was brought up to the county commissioners, they said that the council was too political, too bureaucratic. At the time it was formed, this came under the St. John's Water Management. Okay, and it was there because there was nobody overseeing the St. John's Water Management. They did whatever they wanted to do. Well, since then, it's been moved out from under them under the National Estuary Program, NEP. It's a whole different format now. So there is a difference in our management and our
yeah,
leadership.
but
Of course, so.
there's that difference, and
Big
I can,
difference.
it's a big difference, but there's 2 very vocal council members, one particular commission members who
But I
haven't.
don't think, I'm not sure they even understand that happened.
Well, that's concern to me, because that's who I have to deal with.
But I think we're all right for 2 years, and,
Well, Joe, would you go along with what really Wayne proposed to me?
yes,
And
yes.
then we
Can
take
we
it
get
back?
that nice and neatly? Tammy, do you understand what we were saying here enough to be able to put, I like the 4 options you set on the table with a big asterisk by that last one that we're all kind of going. And if you can send that out in the minutes, then the next meeting, I can get this so it's public noticed, would be January 11th.
That's fine. Make any difference.
For Sebastian City Council, January 11th, and I'd support that. So, I mean, I think that's something our council would go along with too. And if I'm smiling and not growling, they're like, oh, thank God, it's going to be short.
Let's see, how would we word a motion? Because I think we need a motion. It's a legal matter. Wayne?
Well, if you want to just make a motion and pass a motion that says basically to bring back a amended interlocal agreement to indicate that to recognize the Indian River County Commission going to be, if they in fact become a member, then this board, it's really almost like we're just going to amend the interlocal agreement to reflect the non-membership in the current council, but address that the council would want to become a member again should the county decide to withdraw from the council. And let me just say this too, Mr. Wenger, in the new interlocal agreement for the overall council, they might even consider this section in their interlocal agreement now where it talks about In-River Lagoon Coalition and where the coalition would withdraw if the county becomes a member. Perhaps they could leave that in, but just reverse the roles.
Right.
That if In-River County withdraws, the In-River Coalition would be given the opportunity to become members again.
That's kind of what I assumed.
But that would be in
yeah.
the actual council's paperwork that apparently is being worked on now. Perhaps
Okay, well, I'll try and make a motion that the Lagoon Coalition, which is us, that our paperwork be amended such that if the county were to withdraw, that we would become operative again and take the place. And the second part of the motion is Part B, is I would make the request on behalf of the coalition that that same change be made, that any River County would step up and be the representative, but in case of their withdrawal, we would stand in again. That's my motion.
Second and second.
Okay, Tammy, the roll call. This is actually a legal matter.
Okay. Mrs. Coy?
Yes.
Mr. Tyson?
Yes.
Chairman Winger?
Yes.
Passes 3.
And this is all pending approval of our
And this
our,
is
our
this
councils, our local
pending
councils.
approval, and we probably should set a meeting. And Wayne, you can draft up wording. You drafted it originally, I think.
Sure. Yeah, we
So-
can,
So we would have our, Tammy, when's the first Vero Beach City Council?
January 6th?
So we would have January 6th, no,
Or is it
January
January
3rd.
3rd?
So January
the
17th.
3rd.
I don't
That
have a
sounds good.
calendar in
17th
front
or
of me.
16th. You want it on a Monday?
No, I would want it after that, January 18th, so it's past your meeting on the 10th.
Right. Yeah, if this
That's
room is
okay with
open.
you? So we would meet again, and Wayne would bring back the paperwork to accomplish this. We would each go to our city
And-
councils with the paperwork. Wayne would make it available to your clerk and your clerk, and to you,
Thank you, sir.
because I think it's important that it goes to you.
No,
I mean,
I'd be happy
you
to
know,
be a part.
I look at it this way. In effect, it's saying, hey, we're for real. You weren't for real when you should have been. Now that you're for real, it's great to have you, as Joel said earlier on, but if anything goes wrong, we're still here.
I like, I really, the more you talk about that, the more I like that.
And so if we have a meeting on January 18th, at that point, we can do it at 2 o'clock or something. Tammy can send invitations on Outlook. If we do that, then we'll all have met and gotten approval from our paperwork. We will ratify it. And then the next meeting, and I'm not sure whether it's February 5th or February 10th, I will bring it forward on behalf of this.
Perfect.
You will agree.
Got a meeting Thursday night, our city council.
Okay, you can bring it then if you like, but I will bring it forward on behalf of the coalition.
Perfect.
And,
It'll be all done, we should be over and done with it, one way or another by then.
right. Any further comment, or?
My city manager, Jason, you have anything to say?
Hey, good to see you, Jason.
Just that, when I spoke to Dwayne a while back when this seemed like it was in the offing, one of the things we also discussed, and I'm not sure if it's occurred, is that the regional league of cities, the Space Coast and the Treasure Coast, would potentially be joining. So if you're concerned about a diminution of the municipal representation, you're really going to have 2 tiers, one through the county and the second through our respective league of cities. So I anticipate that both the Space Coast and the Treasure Coast at some point in the future are going to be incorporated into this body. At least they both expressed an interest in doing so. And
Didn't the
aside-
Treasure Coast apply this last time?
Yes. No, I know the Space Coast did.
Space Coast did, oh, okay.
And I know they both had discussions, and, I think, when you've got a majority interest of the Board of County Commissioners saying, you have to take them at their words. we get in a precarious situation is if everything is not a unanimous vote, we kind of say, well, we got to backstop this in case they change their minds. Then we all be subject to a lot of backstopping. So that's my only comments.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Chief. Just one other comment from the county is just simply, I'll bring your comments, one, back to Andrea, not Andrea, I'm sorry, Ms. Ansay, to let her know what was discussed today, and certainly the executive director as well, and just simply ask we continue to move forward with the paperwork for the county to take the position of the Indian River County Lagoon Coalition. I'll let my Board of County Commissioners know about the discussion that y'all have had today, just to let them know that, stay in the loop. Those are what I can offer this board today.
Okay.
Okay, any other comment? Yes, come forward, ma'am.
Andrea Bring, 407 Query Lane, Sebastian, and I have been to a lot of the city council meetings where the formation of the league was talked about. And Ms. Coy, I really cannot see where we ever had a 5-0 vote in the city of Sebastian. We always had one person not go for the league. And then the other thing is, at this point, because I did go down to the county to talk to the county about joining, I really do think we need a county-level representation at this point in time. And to be able to achieve that would be a positive move in the right direction. So, but I do like what you did say about if the county doesn't stand up, we will come in again. So thank you.
Yeah, you have some of us up here that have some cuts and wounds and some age on us.
I'm about bled out.
Yeah, well, I'm about bled out too. Thank you for your comments.
I tell everybody I've been down a long road and a lot of it wasn't paved.
No. Yeah, I grew up on a farm in the country, but regardless of that, now we have two other things that, plus whatever other matters you'd like to bring up. This will be our longest coalition meeting we've ever had, as a matter of fact. We have to evaluate, we're required to evaluate Dr. DeFries, and I put in front of you a form, and I'm going to try to shortcut this, and then you can unshortcut it as you see fit. I did not feel competent, considering that Richard Gilmore was really the one that had the experience to fill in the form, and I didn't feel competent to do it without your acquiescence. The form is due tonight. And what will happen is whatever we agree on here, Tammy will fill it in electronically and send it back to Carolyn, and that'll be, but they do want all 8 forms in. So what I'm proposing is that we do section by section, and the overall council gave him a exceptional to superior rating. I don't see superior in the criteria. And so what I'm suggesting is, unless you have other feeling, let's say in the evaluation, strong strategic planning, position rating, sound fiscal management rating, we put all E's in those, unless you want to put some other letter in. Any other letter you suggest, I'll be.
I got it numbered down here, 1, 2, 3, so we need to put 5s in there, right? Our rating would be 5 on all.
So what I'm suggesting is we will put 5 in on the first sheet on everything, unless you want to put something different. And I don't have enough experience. I was trying to explain to my city council that I've been trying to come up to speed representing the 3 cities, and Richard was really totally up to speed. I'm only about 80, probably 65. So I can't do it better than that.
Well, yeah,
I think
and
he's
I'm
doing
in
an
the same
excellent job.
position.
I don't have any complaints about anything he's doing, so.
Okay, well, and then we have a number of these to work through. Strong strategic planning and positioning. That one would be excellent. Sound fiscal management, as far as I know, is excellent. Solid physical management, as far as I know, is excellent. Let's do a page at a time. Building and maintaining beneficial relationships, that one is certainly excellent. Does anyone have any other rating and then a 5 on that one?
Nope.
I mean, if there's any verbiage you'd like to put in, I guess on the 4th one, I'd put in the verbiage comment, particularly strong at building, maintaining beneficial relationships.
Is there any, I know the form has to be turned in. And I hear, we're all in the same spot. Mr. Gilmore had his fingers all over this and really should have been the one to fill this out. Can't we just write a little blurb that we find Wayne DeFreeze to be, well,
Well,
write just a
they-
paragraph and attach it to this in that, one, this is the wrong time of year to be asking politicians right after an election.
That's not what Carolyn wanted, so. I asked her, could I have Richard do this, and she said, no, you really can't.
That true? Okay, but
I
who's,
mean, we can put fives in all these and just be done with it, and she's
That's what I
happy.
would do.
then just do it. But I someone needs to tell them, don't send out surveys at the, on, every year is an election year for us. And so next year, if, well, the county will be in there, it won't be us anymore. But trying to pass out a survey right after an election or demanding that something be done, it's a little bit late. This needs to be done in June.
Again, I think, Andrea, in all fairness, Richard would have been ahead of the game on this, and I've let you down on this one. The reality of it is. So I think we just put fives on all of them and go on with life. I'm happy with that.
Fine, I'm good.
I mean, we could spend a lot of time on it, but
No,
the reality is, I don't think it may, the overall council, there were 5 that turned in the forms and 3 that had not. We're one of the 3. I can't remember who the other 2 were. And the 5 that turned it in all gave him, 5s.
Great, he's a good guy.
So, who are we?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, item 5D, participation in the December 21st delegation meeting. I just put it on the agenda, and I didn't see us doing anything particular, but I wanted to note it and hope you all come.
And
And I don't know-
Sebastian's going to be there. We have
Yeah.
representatives there.
We're not, the city of Vero Beach is not on the agenda, and I don't think this council, or the coalition needs to be on the agenda.
No,
Okay, any old business?
No,
Members matters?
Merry Christmas.
Okay, I guess if I have a motion for adjourn, we're out of here.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Okay, so we don't have to hand this back in, it's just one, she's gonna do it. Praise the Lord.
You guys made it very easy on me.